I was told we're live. Makes sense because, I'm excited for the show today. So let's go straight to it. Ta-da! It's Wednesday. This is the breakdown, and I'm your host, Catherine, aka the High Heel Gamer. And why am I excited, you say? Because I'm not alone today. I have a very special guest. I have the writer and creator of Love University, Allison Whitman. Yeah, Whitmore. I'm sorry, and I told you last names are my kryptonite. I got so excited. I still messed up your name. Please forgive me.
It's okay.
I'm super excited to have you. Of course, I read Love University, loved it. No pun
Thanks.
intended, but pun works. How are you doing today, Allison?
I'm doing great. Doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So let's just jump right into it. So you are the author and creator of Love University. Tell us a little bit about Love University because I don't want to give away anything that you don't want to give away.
Okay. Well, Love University is a comic book series about a young girl who discovers that she is a Cupid. And there's more than one Cupid. So it's not about her finding out that she is Cupid. She's a descendant of Cupid. And so there's a lot of different Cupids that exist, and they all have what's called a love gene. And so there's just like this magical realm. If you want to picture, maybe if you're familiar with the show Magicians and how their university exists on a different plane, that's kind of like how the school, like that's where the school kind of is. And so when she's on her college tour, she kind of like she's trying to find a place that she really wants to go to. She's trying to fit in, and then she's always felt a little different. She's into romance and like romance novels and ships and all sorts of stuff like that. And so she's just always been romantic. And she's just kind of like third wheel with her friends, and she's adopted. And so all this other stuff. So when she finally gets to one of her dream schools, she feels like she still doesn't kind of fit in. And then she ends up at Cupid school. So I kind of, and that's kind of like the gist of the way she falls into the world. And the first issue is very much about just her finding that spot. And then as we move through the series, that issue 2 right now is on Kickstarter. We're kind of like just seeing how she's acclimating to it, and then kind of how she's going to fit into that world, and then what's going to happen next after that. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. Yeah, I was super interested, and I did feel so bad for her when, or not. Oh, I hope this is not like a major spoiler, but she goes to the university of her dreams and stuff, and she kind of gets picked on. And I was like, oh, that sucks. Like, totally, like, she had her moment to shine in the university that she was, wanting, and she kind of gets picked on, and you kind of end up feeling bad for her. Was that the intention, to kind of feel not so much bad for her, but relate to her in those aspects as far as like being bullied and feeling different?
Yes, I wanted her to be that really wasn't her place. And I wanted to show that she really does feel different, and that these moments happen to her like sometimes, and she's feeling like she's not fitting. And so like it happens again at this place, and it's just like, is it, like, can I please catch a break kind of thing moment. So yeah, that's really all it was. I mean, obviously she could go there and get over and deal and all that kind of thing, but the point of that was to show like she's just not quite fitting into that spot either.
Okay. So what made you choose like the Cupid line itself? Because that's an interesting twist. I don't think I've ever read anything along those lines. What made you go into that?
Well, it was kind of just random. At least not in terms of like deciding to do the comic. It wasn't as random, but in general, the idea came to me a really long time ago. I was just driving here in LA. There's Sunset. It's like can be very trafficy, and I used to teach out in Valley, and I lived closer to the beach, so I have to like drive a long way. So I was stuck on the Sunset one day, and Sunset goes behind UCLA. And so we were just literally like locked in traffic. And so I was just looking at the campus, and I don't know why I thought of this. I just said, what if there was a school called Love U? And so then I was like, how does that make any sense? And then I thought, oh, a school for kids. And so I thought of the U, and I just thought it was hilarious. And I was just like, that's great. And then later on, I was asked to do my own series. I pitched several ideas to the publisher, and I just like, they liked that one the best. There were 5 ideas. I had like one about a witch. I always want to write about witches. And I always have that, like, no matter what, I'm like, here's a witch idea. What do you think of that? But I really liked this concept, so we went with this one.
Oh, that's good. So that's really exciting. So is it possible that maybe these other storylines we'll see in the future?
Yeah, there are lots of other storylines in this one. We have, well, at least for me, like in my head, like her story continues, and then I have one character specifically. I think you see her in issue 2, but she's more introduced in issue 3. She has more of a story, and you might not be able to tell who it is because I give a lot more of the characters more stories, like the girls on the campus.
Oh, okay.
But there's one I would love to spin off, maybe from her. But there's always something for me. Like I have like I write screenplays, so I have a story based on Edgar Allan Poe, and it's called Poe, and that pilot's going out, and I like love it. It's super fun. But that's my witches, because I'm a witch.
I love it. One of my favorites is Edgar Allan Poe. I'm not very great at memorizing his stuff, but I've always liked his poems and things like that. So you are a writer by trade. That's your profession. Is that safe to say?
Yeah.
So how did you get into the comic book industry?
Well, I was hired to work on a web series. And because of that, it's just kind of started off with, can you write these 25 episodes? And I was like, okay. And so like the guy wanted me to have a couple of other writers, like have a team. So I interviewed a couple of people, and one of the guys was working with this comic publisher, and I at the same time had a for hire on a comic book, and they had actually been looking for women of color screenwriters. So I was working on that, and it was a for hire, and I was just kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then so and so I asked this guy when I was interviewing him. He said he was editing and working for this publisher. So I just said, and would you look at what I'm doing, because I can't find a lot of great examples. And I, read comic books growing up, and I love comics, TV shows, as you can see, like so. But like, so it's like not a foreign thing to me, but the actual scripts, Okay. So he said, "Let me take a look at what you're doing," and he was like, "This is awesome." And then he sent it to his publisher, and then that guy, he asked me if I would do my own series. And so then
wow. That's pretty cool. That's really impressive that you took that leap of faith, I guess I should say, and signed up for that. Do you tend to do that? Are you like a risk taker? Do you like adventure and stuff like that?
With my writing, yeah, I tend to like.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah, with your writing, are you like a risk taker with your writing? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I would have wanted. I wish I had been a different type of risk taker, but with my writing, yeah, it depends. I mean, if it's something like this where I get a chance to write genre, because I'm a genre writer, as you can say, you can tell, like a supernatural stuff. I like that type of thing. I can write fantasy because oftentimes I'm doing assignments and then they're kind of in a different genre. Like I'm writing a sports drama, or I'm writing a military thing or something like that. And I'm just kind of like, can I please write my genre? So like this guy's like asking me to do something that's my story, that is visual. It's not on the screen in terms of movies or TV, but it is a visual story, and I'm a visual storyteller. It just seemed like a no-brainer for me to kind of jump into at least this. But I try to do things that makes sense for me in terms of my career and just storytelling, and connecting with the audience is something that I really like too. So I just thought that would be fun.
Oh, okay. So your next book, or comic book, is the second volume to Love University. Can you tell us a little bit about like what goes on in the next, without giving too much, because we want people to go to the Kickstarter.
Well, this one I basically wanted to talk more about different kinds of love in the story, even though romantic love is at the baseline of the entire series. And so this one is a little bit about familial love. And so at this point, she's at the school, but she wants to see her parents to say goodbye. And so that's what it's about. And she's struggling with that. So like it's adventurous in a sense because there's like characters that she's combating with and things going on that are just interesting and possible relationship setups, possibly not. You never know. So there's this, there's tension, all these things going on. But it's just that's kind of like, is she allowed to do it? Will they let her go? Is she already signed up? Kind of like Sabrina when she signs in the book at Beast. It's like,
yeah.
She's just like, can I do this? Can I do that? Like, am I locked into this like agreement? And like, what do I do? And so she's just trying to, did she make the wrong choice? So it's called Home Sweet Home.
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah. And so that's what I call it. And yeah, so that's basically it. What it's
the panel that just showed kind of shows her home life. So we get to see her growing up, a little more backstory as to her childhood.
Yeah, she's adopted, so those are her parents.
Okay, so you get to see how she was raised and things of that. Does it go? Is it? I guess what I'm trying to ask is it like in depth, or is this gonna be like flashbacks here and there throughout the series of how she grew up?
We will get flashbacks. This one is part of her torment. So she's remembering. First, it's kind of like not torment, and the one that just went up was like less, and the one that you see the crying, it's like a little more. So like it's just part of this journey that she's having right now. So and so one is real. Well, you won't. It'll be hard to tell which is real and which is not. Well, you'll be able to tell when you're reading it. You can tell when you're reading it. But I don't know.
That's exciting. So is it safe to say that her story is somewhat of a coming of age story?
Definitely.
Okay. I didn't want to, I tend to get things wrong.
No, you have it
right. You heard that. She said I got it right. Okay. So when I do mistakes, let's put this clip back up of her saying that I got things right. I never get anything right. So the Kickstarter, how much longer do you have to go on the Kickstarter for Volume 2?
We have, as of yesterday, it was a week. So we have 6 days left.
Girl.
See? And look how close we are.
Yeah, I hear you. Come on, guys. Back this up. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. It's a great story. I loved it. I loved it because it was something different. It wasn't anything, like I said, I don't think I've ever heard of anything along those lines. So I was definitely interested. And then of course it left you with the to be continued. And I was like, no, it's like, it's the worst thing you could do to me is leave me with a cliffhanger. And I'm like, what? Because I'm nosy and I need to know what happened.
Yeah. My friend said her kid was like, oh my God. Continue, like shouting.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I was too. I was like, no, give me more. So I'm excited
Sorry. Part of that I will tell you is that, the publisher has me on these page limits. And I'm like, okay, then I'm going to have to just do it this way. Because I might want to tell a little more and cut it off later. But it was just like, well, this kind of works. I mean, it's like, it's fine. Figure out. You'll see what happens next.
It was good. You put a lot of detail. I definitely want to give a shout out to your team, if you don't mind, if you want to go ahead and let everybody know, like your artist and all those nice people that helped you along.
Yes, my artists are awesome. Okay, so my inker is Carola Varelli, and she's amazing. She's I love that she came onto this project because I had seen a couple of other samples of Lucy, and to me, they were just not hitting the mark. And when she did her first sample, She just kind of like looked at the discussion and she came up with something, but I really loved her work already. And then I just said, well, this is what I'm thinking. And literally I had done this with other people and they just took so long and they still weren't getting it. She literally like one note. She was just like, I was like, wow, like you did it exactly. And she was like amazing. She's amazing. And so we worked a lot page to page in the first issue. Second issue, not as much because she really gets the story, Lucy, the journey, like
that's
my
good.
movement and stuff like that. Like I'm usually just like, yay, like every time, like with this issue last time, it was like that, but she was asking more questions like, well, what should the school look like? And like at first it was a little sterile and I was like, no, how about this way? And things like that. She's like, well, can you give me some pictures? And it was just very like hands-on talking one-on-one. And then we also talk in a group. The colorist is Agnes Posa, and she's also brilliant and amazing. She's actually even shown me how she does her work, and she's just very very fun to talk to and very smart. And I just love like both of them are really smart, and I just really love like I think we all connect and hit it off, and they work together really well too. I know that they talk on their own, so I'm just happy that I have this like girl team. It's super fun.
I was actually gonna ask you, was that like on a purpose thing, all girl power type of thing?
For me, yes, I wanted that. But I mean, like, I was like, please draw Lucy. Like, never mind. But I wanted her to be like, not to. I don't know. Yeah. So, but they got
I know where you're going with it. Yeah. I actually definitely like it a lot. I like she doesn't look the norm and not in a bad way. It's definitely one of those faces. Oh, I haven't seen that face before. You know what I mean? So it's definitely refreshing.
That's a good word for it.
It is. Because you kind of, and I don't mean to diss anybody or downplay anybody else, but you kind of see like these cookie cutter images of women, and especially like women of color. They tend to not differentiate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's frustrating at times. So when I saw the cover and I was like, oh, okay. And then I went in and I was like, see, this is somebody that gets it. It's not the same cookie cutter face for us, women of color. So I appreciated that. I appreciated that a lot.
Yeah, that's what it was for. I mean, that whole like, please do this, please do that. Like it was part of that was what was that for me.
So how much of this character is you, or is she just completely just off the top of your head?
I would say because I'm so far into doing so many different stories, and I do have a lot of girls that like it's me and my mom, or just me, or more my mom. My mom has all these really cool stories from when she was a kid, so I'm just like, ooh, that's cool. So like and her personality is really interesting. I just like for Lucy, I really don't think that she is me. There's a little bit of stuff, like I tend to write stories about fitting in and doing stuff like that, like in high school, like, those were always worries and things like that. So in terms of that, in terms of stuff like, I don't think that I don't feel a disconnect with my family like she does. I usually with my friends, I never felt like a third wheel either. I always felt like maybe my friends and I were like the third wheel of like, the whole thing. But I was always very connected to them. So like I don't really have those same things, but I mean I still understand her. Like maybe if I was sitting in class, I might feel like the odd one out in class, like so those kind of feelings. I think maybe that, yes, would be something that I relate to and something that maybe would be me. And always trying to find that place to where you really belong and march to your own, beat and all that kind of stuff. But in general, it's not me. I mean, you might say, oh, she looks like me or everything, but I tend to write a lot of mixed girls. So.
Oh, okay.
Like not all of them though, but a lot of them.
Not all of them, but a lot of them.
This is like it's like I don't know. I just see them depicted differently, so I'm just like, oh, I'm doing mine because I know a lot. It's not just like one. Everybody's different.
Yeah. Well, that's good that you're trying to, I guess, create the new mold. Like I said, I'm not trying to downplay anybody else, but they do kind of, some do tend to put all of us in the same, aspects and stuff like that. And not all of us go through the exact same thing. So it's kind of, so there is, if I hope this is not like a spoiler, but there's a part where Lucy gets made fun of for her hair and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God, I know that experience because I've had it in my own family. Like my own family has done that to me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, spoiler alert. Sorry,
Okay.
guys. But I just want to bring that to light because a lot of the times that's not even brought up in any of the stories with women of color, that they get teased for having curly, kinky, bad hair. Um,
Yeah.
did you feel the need to, like, no, I have to put this in because I know it's an experience that women of color have gone through?
It wasn't at first, like, it was, that one wasn't even planned. And when I
Oh,
got to that scene, it had to be like, it happened. The part with the girls teasing her, that happened right, like, naturally. Then I went back and added her, like, worry with the rain. I added that in so that people would get it. But because at first it was just the hair thing. And then I was like, they're not going to get that. So then I went back and added, how that happened. And so it's just, I was just like, I have to keep this in here because this is really what would happen. Like, this is an authentic thing that could truly happen. And I did it for that reason, like you said. But that's why I went back and made sure that it was clear,
okay, good.
and, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. And I know it's something so simple and a lot of people don't think about it, but it resonates, and it's a way to connect with the character because, like I said, I went through that in my own family. So to actually see that in the book, it was like, oh my God, it's like super cool. So I liked it. I appreciate it. I thought, don't call me a nerd. Leave me alone, Jack.
I
I
was
thought it
hoping
was
people
cool.
would get it, so I'm super happy.
Can you tell us about any other projects that you're working on?
Comic wise or just in general?
Exclusives, just in general. Anything
Okay.
that you're like, oh, I want to plug this.
Well, I have a pilot called Poe, and that's floating around, pitching. Well, some people are like reading it and setting up meetings and stuff like that. And it's about Edgar Allan Poe, kind of. It's actually it's set now contemporarily, and the lead is named Poe, and she's a descendant. But it's like she doesn't really know that. She thinks that it's just because her parents are like Poe fans and they come from this town where he stayed for a couple of summers, and so it's their claim to fame. And so she's just like, you guys are just, much, and you even named me after the guy, and my brother's name is Alan, and all this kind of thing. But it's like supernatural kind of thing. And the dad, the brother and the dad die. And so she's just got to try to figure out like what's happening because she doesn't believe in the supernatural at all. So it's kind of like this is Poe-themed curse that like unleashes on the town, and she's just got to try to like figure it out, like reverse the curse. She doesn't believe in it, and then figure out like what's going on and stuff like that. So it's super fun. I really like it. I mean, so that's my favorite project right now. I was thinking of maybe doing a graphic novel on it, but we're getting interest already. So I don't know if I have to do that yet. I have to wait. And then so that one is my biggest thing. And then I have a pirate project I'd like to start soon. I'm excited about that
pirate?
one. It's about a female pirate. And it's the girl supposedly really existed in the 16th century. And she's also mixed. She's half Haitian and half French. And she apparently took over an entire island and had her own little like community there. So
Wow.
it's super cool. She's really interesting. They called her Back from the Dead Red because she disappeared and she came back.
I like that. Back from the
It's really fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds exciting. That's super cool. I like that a lot. So we're gonna plug the Kickstarter. But I also want to know, like, do you have social media websites and stuff like that?
I'm so old. Twitter.
That's not even a real statement. I don't believe you.
Truth. So Twitter, Twitter at Allie Whitmore. I try to check it. I check it enough. And then Instagram is, it's there, but it's Allison Whitmore author. I don't check it that much. And then Facebook, I do check. So that's the Love You comic. You could probably find me there easily, because usually if those messages are sent there, they go to me. And then I have an actual Facebook page too. I don't update it a lot, but it's there and I do see it because it's from like my novel days, and I just like do other stuff now. But I still I update Love You like a lot. So that's probably the one.
Then that's a better, that's the one we're gonna promote anyway, because we want this second volume. I'm fiending for this. I'm dying to know what happens next. I'm terrible at waiting. I'm not very patient, and I'm super nosy, and I'm dying to figure out what happens to Lucy. Like what new adventures. So how do you know how many issues you kind of want Love University to run to? Or is it still kind of open-ended?
Well, I would say that my first 3 kind of like complete a tiny arc, but I would like to extend it into 5. So like 5 is kind of where I'd like it to be. And then from there, it could, because of the nature of this, it could go on for a long time because of just the world it's set up. It's like, it could be like a TV show, like kind of thing. Like, there's a lot of adventures that could happen. But for now, like, I'm just trying to like tell like some little arcs and see how it goes.
Do you do conventions to promote it, or you just do the promotion via regular plugging and stuff like that? Podcasts, I know you said you've been on a couple.
So far, just that, online and podcasts. I haven't done any conventions. I would like to, and love to do like a signing. I just haven't done it yet. There's a really cool store close by that I love. So, or 2 actually that I like. So maybe I'll do a couple of those.
Oh, that's exciting.
It'd be fun. I like doing those. I mean, I used to do them with my books. So
you think you might do that for Love You? I wish I was closer. I'd go. I'd fangirl all over it. I'm like, please.
Well, I'd like to.
Okay, cool. So other than the Poe book and the pirate thing, do you collaborate with other people? Are you still doing web shows too?
The web series, actually, that was turned into a pilot TV drama. So, whatever. But so I still do. I work with people, on their projects. So often it's like a feature or a series that they want to develop. And then for me, like, I just kind of, on my own projects, it's just kind of me on them. So like my manager and I are just going out, just trying to sell the projects and or get me, on a TV writing staff, that kind of thing. That's kind of mainly what I'm doing in terms of my writing career. And then the comics are like, I'm also doing them. And I'm writing a play too, this in a couple months for somebody.
Okay. Oh, that's exciting. I'm terrible at screenwriting. I tried doing it, and I'm terrible at screenwriting. I'm terrible at TV writing, and it's not my thing. I try to do books. That's as much as I get. But
books are cool.
It's easiest for me. But 6 more days till the Kickstarter. Back that Kickstarter up for Love University Volume 2. If you haven't gotten Volume 1, I don't know what you're waiting for, people. Definitely go check out it was Love You on Facebook, Love You Comic on Facebook.
Yes, good.
Yay! I'm good for something.
I would have been like, let me see if I can remember. So, go ahead.
Allison, thank you so much for taking time from your busy, busy day to talk to me, little old me. I appreciate it so much. And thank you once again. Love University on Kickstarter Volume 2. Back it up. We got 6 more days, people. Don't waste another minute. And definitely go follow her on Love You Comics on Facebook. As always, it's been a pleasure. Like, follow, share, and subscribe. You can catch us on our website, www.issueswithshow.com. And you can at me at @thebreakdown_show. I always write it down, people. It's a real thing. It happens. And thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, see you next Wednesday. Bye, everyone.